my cooking friends, it's Mel. I am cooking in my kitchen at home today. Um, so the recipe for this week that we're going to make is going to be a summer pasta salad. The weather isn't quite reflecting summertime yet, but it's almost here, so I thought it'd be a good time to start cooking with some fresh vegetables and just colorful food that's really pretty and fun to eat. So I've got our recipe pulled up. I didn't print it today, but I have it pulled up on the Google Classroom app. So you can kind of see it here, summer pasta salad, and you can scroll through each page of the recipe that lists our ingredients and all of the steps. So you can choose to pull it up on an iPad or print it out and have it in front of you in the kitchen. So since this recipe is super colorful, that also means that it has a lot of ingredients that we need to use. So the list is pretty long. So for the dressing for the pasta salad, you're going to use some olive oil, some red wine vinegar, you're going to use some Italian spices. The recipe calls for sugar. I'm going to put some honey in there instead today. You're also going to use some garlic, and then you're going to add our good old friends, salt and pepper. Okay, and then for our fresh ingredients, you're going to use half of a red onion. You're going to want some sort of short pasta, so you could use a rotini, you could use a penne pasta, whatever you have on hand. You're also going to use some cherry tomatoes, and then you're going to use a cucumber, which mine is still in the fridge. You guys are all familiar with cucumbers. We've cut up so many of them at ABC. Then you're also going to use some fresh mozzarella. I bought in the little pearls, but you can also get just like a big old chunk of mozzarella and chop it up, or you can use cheese sticks and cut those up too, depending on what you have available. You're also going to use some salami slices or some sort of kind of salty, like Italian cured meat. Some people use pepperoni. It really depends on what you have available and what your preference is. You can also leave the meat out completely. After that, you're also going to use some olives. I've got some Kalamata olives here. They've got a really good color and flavor, but you can change those out with black olives or green olives. And then you're going to use some fresh parsley. This stuff is wonderful. I grow it in my garden, and it smells so good, and it tastes really good, and it adds a nice, really pretty green color. Okay, now for the equipment that you're going to need. You're going to need a big old cutting board and a knife. So this recipe, it's got a ton of ingredients, and there is a lot of chopping involved to get everything prepared before you put it into your bowl. So make sure you've got your cutting board ready. You're also going to need a big old pot because we're going to boil our pasta. So have that guy ready on the stove with hot water in it, and you're going to turn it on to boil. So that way, while you're prepping all of your vegetables, you can get your noodles cooking. Once your noodles are done cooking, you're also going to need our friend, the colander, the handy bowl that's got the holes in the bottom of it. That'll allow us to drain our water and get our noodles cooled down so that way they can be put into the bowl and mixed in with the rest of our ingredients. You're also going to have to do a lot of measuring. So you're going to want some measuring cups and your smaller measuring spoons. And then you'll need a big old bowl to put your pasta salad in. And then I've grabbed some small bowls too, so that way as you prepare and chop your ingredients, you can take them off of your cutting board and put them into your small bowls. Okay, so now that we have all of our ingredients and equipment prepared, we're going to jump right into our first step of the recipe, which is going to be to make our dressing. So if you go to step number 1, you're going to take everything from the dressing ingredient list and you're going to pour it into a small bowl together. So that is going to be our olive oil, our red wine vinegar, our Italian spices, our garlic, and our honey, and we're going to mix and whisk all of that together. So take a look at your recipe. It's going to give you the quantities that you need to measure. So let's go ahead and do that, get it all mixed up, and then we're going to move on to the next step. dressing mixed together and your red onion chopped, you're going to go ahead and put your red onion into the bowl so that way it can start to soften and marinate for some flavor. So by this point, your hot water should be ready to go. You can go ahead and add your noodles to the hot water. I let mine cook for about 7 to 10 minutes, so go ahead and read your package and it's going to tell you about how long you want them to cook for. We're looking for an al dente texture, which if you made some of our other pasta dishes, it's going to be where the noodle is still kind of chewy, not too hard, not really mushy. So pay attention to your cooking time. I set a timer for myself. So I set it for 7 minutes. Once it goes off, then I check the noodles to see where the texture is, and then I can decide if they're done or not. So once your pasta is done cooking, the recipe calls for putting it into an ice bath. I didn't have an extra big bowl at home to make that, so what I did is I dumped and drained my noodles into the colander and then turned on the cold water and let the cold water run over the noodles for a while stirring them so that the temperature cools down, they stop cooking, and then you can let them chill so that way we can stir them into the rest of our ingredients. So while your pasta is cooling down, this is where we can jump into the preparation of all of our other ingredients. So we've got cucumbers to slice, tomatoes to make sure they're rinsed and cleaned. We've got to slice our salami. We've got to cut not our avocados, we need to cut our olives in half. And we also got to chop our parsley. So that's a whole lot of chopping to do. So make sure your cutting board is clean and ready. Get all of your ingredients set out, and then let's start chopping. Okay, all of that chopping is done now. So we've got all of our ingredients ready to go. So the last step, now that our noodles are cooled, everything's chopped, we're going to put it all together into one giant bowl and mix it into this colorful, beautiful salad. So let's start with putting our noodles into the bowl, and then we're going to run down the list of ingredients and layer everything in. Get yourself a big old spoon ready, so that way you can stir it after each ingredient that you add in. Holy cow, guys, I think we did it. I think we got through all of that chopping and preparation, and now we've got this. Holy smokes, this is a ton of pasta salad. Thankfully my husband eats a lot and I have lots of friends to share it with. So I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. It's super great to make with your family. You can bring it along for a barbecue, or you can just portion it out into smaller servings and eat it throughout the week for lunch or for dinner. So let me know if you have any questions about the recipe. Also comment and let us know if you made any modifications or if there's other things that you like to add into your pasta salad. Like I've got red peppers in my fridge and I totally could chop those up and throw those in too. It's just a really good, colorful summer dish, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will see you next week for some more cooking.